Eric Duhaime is, of course, leader of the Quebec Conservative Party. Earlier in the week, he penned an open letter suggesting, I guess, pushing to try to anyway, the CAQ government to roll back its ban on gas-powered vehicles. And as you know, or if you don't, quite some time ago, a few months ago, the CAQ came out and suggested that they thought it would be a great idea to ban the sale of gasoline-powered vehicles as of 2035. Now, that's not that far away when you stop and think about it, right? And that means between now and then, over the next 9 years or so, this idea of all of us driving EVs to satisfy this government edict is what the government is looking to do. So Eric is on the line. Eric, thanks for being here this afternoon. Appreciate it.
Always a pleasure.
Let's get to this. You're calling this My Car, My Choice. And I know you're getting support. I saw a letter from the Canadian Taxpayers Federation also supporting this. So first of all, let's talk about why you think this is unfair and unnecessary.
Well, first off, it's, we're all in favor of the environment, and we all want to make sure that we do an effort individually. But there's three reasons mainly why the proposal by the CAQ is not realistic. First off, they're telling us there's a shortage of energy in Quebec. The Minister of Energy is telling us that we shouldn't wash our dishes during the daytime. We should wait at 3 a.m. in the morning. And at the same time, they're saying we should get rid of our cars currently and all transfer 100% to electricity. The second problem is the technology. The technology is not, in Montreal, it's not that bad on the island of Montreal, but elsewhere, as you know, Quebec is very big. The distances are quite long. We have winters. Minus 20 happens every single year. The percentage of power that you lose when it's minus 20 with those cars is between 30 and 50%. So there is a challenge, especially in the regions of Quebec. And thirdly, there's a financial impact as well. Those cars are a bit more expensive, and there's all sorts of other expenses around it that make it even more expensive. And in the period of time that economically it's tough, it's not necessarily the good timing. And Quebec doesn't need to be the first one to do that. I mean, the percentage, we were talking about 2035 right now, but actually it's already starting. It's kicking in. And it's 22% right now, and it's going to go as high as 85% in 2030. And if the builders are not able to sell 85% of their cars 100% electric in Quebec, well, they'll have to pay kind of a tax, a penalty of $20,000. So that means that at the end of the day, it's the consumer that's going to have to pay that $20,000. So that's very scary for us. If it's in 5 years, it's very close. And, we don't know, we never know, Aaron, what's going to happen in the future. There's e-fuels that we're talking about right now. There's the hydrogen. There's hybrid cars. Mm-hmm. I'm driving a hybrid car. I'm not against electricity. I'm very happy with my hybrid, but I would never transfer to an electricity car 100% because I travel 70,000 kilometers a year. I'm going all across Quebec. I mean, there's different realities, and the technologies are evolving in such a way that we don't think it's very cautious we should be more cautious, and we should put that on the ice and watch what's going to happen elsewhere in Canada and in the U.S.
By the way, with respect to your hybrid car that you drive, my understanding is that this would also apply to hybrid cars, right? Not just gas-powered cars.
No, that's the problem. They're gonna ban hybrid cars. And unlike the U.S. considers that it's a green car. Here, it's going to be considered like if it's a gas car. So it's much more radical what's going on out here. And so that's why we need to have a moderate approach. And also at the federal level, if you look at any polls now, they're telling us that Pierre Poilievre is going to be the next prime minister. He already said that he's going to ban that because the federal government has imitated Quebec, not as aggressively though, but still, they still have a plan to go that way. And at the federal level, so meaning the other provinces, they're not going to go in the same direction as Quebec. So I think that's also another thing that we have to take into account.
Okay. The other question is, and I think you mentioned this in the letter, and you mentioned it a minute ago, for people to understand, first of all, you live in Quebec. If you have an electric vehicle, we know, at least now we have much better information, much better research that, batteries just don't do as well as in cold weather. And we know that the weather here, obviously in the winter, drains batteries quicker than anywhere else.
It's a huge challenge for us. And we're not saying, the technology could evolve, and it will evolve. I'm 100% sure. And, in 10, 20, 15 years, we don't know when, but obviously they might be able to solve part of the problem. But currently, the cars that we have on the market, it's 30 to 50% less when it's minus 20. So it's a huge challenge, and it makes, you cannot have, it's not everybody who can afford two cars, but many people will need two cars if if that legislation goes through.
And what about, the electricity grid? You also bring that point up too, right? In terms of if everyone's driving EVs, are we going to have an issue with hydro?
Well, we already have an issue with hydro, and Hydro-Quebec and the Quebec government are going to have some consultation in the fall, starting in the fall, for the planning for the next few years. So they're having a plan for the next few years on one hand, and they're already saying that we're going 100% electric with the cars. So it seems that there's a lack of planning on that side as well. And the other thing that I hate is that they tabled the regulation and they published it on July 10th, and they started a consultation that is ending on August 25th. So they did it right in the middle of summer. They launched it on the eve of the construction holidays, while everybody was thinking about anything else, and we were not talking as much politics. And it's kind of like they're trying to go, very quickly and make sure there's no consultation, and it's not very transparent. And worse than that, 125 members at the National Assembly, they all agree. The four parties, they're all together, and they're all in favor of that, while the strong majority of Quebecers are against it. And that's another thing that I have a problem with.
So what happens to this? I mean, I said now it's an open letter, but obviously you'll bring this up when the National Assembly resumes, right?
Yeah. Well, what we're doing right now is that we've put it online. We're asking people to sign the document, the 30-page document that we're tabling to the Ministry of Environment. And so we have to table it before August 25th. So it's going to happen before the House resumes. So we need to do it right now because the consultation is ending in 4 days.
And where is that document? Where is that petition, if you will?
Well, you can find it on Mon Char, Mon Choix. I don't know if they try My Car, My Choice. I don't know if they registered the website, but the French website, for sure, the address works. And you can go there, you can read it, and you can sign it if you want.
Okay. Last thing before I run out of time, I got to talk about this. I had Paul St. Pierre Plamondon on the show earlier today, reacting to François Legault's story or comments yesterday on temporary foreign workers. What's your take on what you heard from the Premier yesterday on immigration?
Well, it's always the same problem. They're always trying to use immigrants to score political points, and the proof is that it's not even the numbers that they care about, because we're talking about less than 1% of immigrants. And yes, there is a problem. I think everybody has to be honest here. We have had way too many temporary immigrants coming in Quebec over the last year. The numbers are just unsustainable. There's no way we can integrate as many people. We don't have the housing. We don't have the health services, the education services, the kindergarten, anything. But we need immigrants, like it or not. In Quebec, we have an aging population. They are a great contribution economically. So we need to find a balance between the two. And right now, what I hate is that we have extremists on both sides. On one side, you have Justin Trudeau, who wants to allow the whole planet to come in ASAP. And on the other hand, you have the CAQ and the PQ that are saying we should close our borders. I mean, the reality is that we have to find a balance. And right now, it's unbalanced, and we need to reduce the number of immigrants that are coming in Quebec right now.
Is François Legault moving too fast, or as PSPP says, he's moving too slow?
Well, François Legault is just, he's barking, but I mean, it doesn't change anything. He's always complaining against immigrants. But if you look at what he's doing, in reality, we're talking about how many, 3,000 people out of 500,000. It's not, that's not the solution to the current problem. I'm not saying it's nothing. He's starting somewhere, but I don't think that's the way to go. We need to find a consensus and make sure that the numbers are reduced, but also we have to stop having an anti-immigrant speech. It's very unhealthy for Quebec society. I'm very shocked. I was with the Indian community last Sunday in Montreal. I posted pictures on the web. Just the comments that I got in return, disgust me. I mean, and it's fed by the anti-immigrant speeches that we have right now in Quebec. It needs to stop. It's unhealthy.
Eric Duhaime, leader of the Provincial Conservative Party. Eric, merci beaucoup. Appreciate it.
Merci. Thank you very much.
Take good care.